Greetings, Play Unplugged fans. Enrico Nardini here at Historicon 2013, and I'm joined by John Mathews. We're at the Battlefront booth talking all things Battlefront.
Absolutely.
And so you guys have had a lot of new releases, one of which very exciting. People have been chomping at the bit for this for probably years, Japanese in Flames of War. So let's talk about that first.
I think that's the case. I would say that we've actually surprised people because they were expecting the late war first, but coming in with the early war Japanese in the sort of northern conflict up there with the Russians and that sort of thing it's pleasantly surprising.
Awesome. So what are the latest releases? What are people supposed to get really excited about?
Well, depending on which side you want to be, personally my bent is the Japanese. I like the mass of them. The special rules, things like the Banzai charge and all this sort of thing, helps to give a completely different flavour to almost any army, which I enjoy. I'm a Russian player as well, so this book for me is a godsend. I'm not so familiar with the Finn bit, but it looks interesting. Quite a lot of the guys who have come here this time have just been, I'm going to say, wetting themselves over the Finns. They really love it, so that's good. Yeah,
that's awesome. It's good to hear a lot of excitement. It's always good to hear excitement about your product line, things like that. But you guys have now your range is starting to very much diversify over. Like, you guys have so much stuff going on. So Spartacus board game,
yep,
and a new supplement being released for that as well.
The expansion came out, I would say, it's one of those things where you forget track of keeping track of time. I think about 6 weeks ago now, the Serpent and the Wolf came out, which takes it from a 4-player game to a 6-player game. The key that I would say to enjoying it is, if you're still playing with 4 players, use all 6 boards, speed them up, and then pull out 4 at random. So you could be playing with the 2 new boards and the 2 old boards. It changes the whole dynamic of the game because you're now not as familiar with the 4 houses that are being played. You still play the same thing of betting, stabbing one another back, and that sort of thing. It is a game, we describe it as, you do not make friends playing Spartacus. And the more aggressive you play it, as in being a total, beep, the more fun the game is. If you actually are nice to one another in and go there, you miss something and there. So yes, we're very, very pleased with Spartacus. And now with Firefly coming out as our second one, this game is much more in tune with the dynamic that is Firefly. I don't say that Spartacus isn't, but the dynamics of the 2 games are different, as in it's a dick you over game, Spartacus. This one is about getting the job done, but you misbehave, but not necessarily at an opponent. You have got 2, if it was a computer games, would be AIs, as in the artificial intelligence, which is the cannibals, and sadly I've just forgotten who they are, and the Alliance. Yeah, so those are there. Plus, you've still got the ability to be, a little bit aggressive to there, but not nearly as much as Spartacus. But yes, it's huge, and it's first going to be released at Gen Con.
That sounds awesome.
3 weeks' time, yeah.
Now, one thing, you brought up the video game thing. Now, our website, we do not do video games at all. We do only tabletop games. But one thing that's interesting about Spartacus, and hopefully same for Firefly, we reviewed Spartacus for the website. We really liked it, and I think in general, tabletop games do maybe a little bit better job with licenses as far as taking care to really respect the license and what the actual original storyline's about and stuff like that. How important is that when you're when you guys are designing board games, things like that? How important is making sure that that respecting that license for what it is?
It starts right at the beginning of, we only go after a license that we can feel that we can duplicate in the game. So if I'm going to pick one that hopefully everybody will realize we're not going after. So let's say, think of a show, CSI. And I'll hear next week we've got a CSI license. We don't at the moment, so don't quote me. But if we looked at that and went, no, we could make a board game about it, but it's not going to be true to the show, we would step back. So all the ones that we are in talk at with the moment, which again I can't give you any spoilers on, but it works to, yes, that show has got what we need to be able to make a board game that can reflect what happens in the show. So when you're playing it, you will go, I get it. Oh yeah, that's all right. This is almost similar to that episode, that sort of thing. So for us, very, very important that is in the original spec. Then what we do is step back, to carry on. We step back and we go, okay, this is what we want to do. We sort of, when I say we, nothing to do with me, the Gale Force 9 guys get together and say, what's it about? And again, watch the show and go, is it about making money? Then you'll have a mechanic that is going to be producing money, however it is. Is it about being, fighting or blah, 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 blah? And then we will tailor the rules.
Or backstabbing.
Yeah, backstabbing, absolutely. Yes. And a bit of backstabbing, always good. We'll always try and get a bit of that in there.
So, lastly, I would be completely remiss if I didn't, and the fans would just jump down my throat if I didn't bring this up. You guys acquired Dust Tactics. Anything you can tell us about that newly acquired license, what your plans are for the future and all that?
It's not a license per se, so it's not Flames of War Battlefront going to be making Dust. Paolo is still going to be absolutely in control of the IP and creative design. Now, will he talk with us and give? Of course he will. Well, I hope so. I know he will because he was just down in New Zealand. But we are not writing it. But, good ideas always come from. What we're doing is making sure that we can use our distribution network to make sure that everybody can get hold of it. And quite a lot of people have come to us and gone, you're going to make it Flames of War? No. It's its own game and should be in its own right and go from there. It is a view and a new war game that should be respected and done for there. So what we're going to do is bring our distribution network in and also our ability to support the community with gaming, tournament play, everything like that, to give them a hobby that hopefully they want to stay into for a long, long time. I have to say at the moment, I've not played Dust. I do like the Russian tanks, the ones based off the IS-3 and things like that. They look sweet. So yes, we've helped there. We've helped a little bit with the new box merchandising to try and make it clearer what comes in the box. One of the bits of feedback we got was how many vehicles come in this box. So we've tried to make that all very much clearer to help the gamers and especially new gamers getting into the game. So yeah, we're very excited. Again, I think Gen Con is our first release of the Wave 8. I'm pretty sure it's Wave 8, Russians, and Bunkers, I think, is the other one there. So, yeah, very, very excited indeed.
John, that sounds awesome. Thank you for taking some time, hanging out with us and talking with us. I'm sure the fans are going to be really interested to hear about it. And lastly, if they want to find out more information, where should they go?
I would say www.flamesofwar.com.
That sounds awesome. Thank you very much. Folks, make sure also we're on the internet, of course. Go to playunplugged.com, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to this YouTube channel, leave comments below, all that stuff. It's so important. And once again, John, thank you so much.
Great. Thank you.